So here is my 5-gallon bucket worm bin. This has, let me see, what's this? Oh, little roly-polies. They were on the tip of, I think this may be a stem from like grape. So that distracted me. Well, this here is my 5-gallon worm bin. I actually created this for my Master Gardener class. I took 30 composting worms out of my composting pile and added them in here. So I will bring this bucket in. This is a bus tray. And come on. Oh man. So, see only some of that loose stuff. This guy here is pretty moist, and these castings have been in here for a while. And check out those worms. Wow, see them? Yeah, this bin is a beast. I mean, look at that. I could not be more happy or proud of how that looks. Man, this is taking forever to empty though. Thought it was just going to be a quick dumping. So, I don't know if we can see down at the bottom, there's a bunch of little worms in there. I am not going to get this thing super clean. So, let me get this out of the way for a second. So, to this, I'm adding just some fresh bedding. Because this is super dry, I'm adding some water, some moisture. I'm going to also rinse down any worms that I see on the sides. Get them back into the fresh bedding. So with this, I'm kind of planning on going a little heavier with the moisture, just to hopefully keep those guys kind of happy down there. And these guys don't need much. A piece of kale, a couple orange peels, and a lemon peel. It's just going to go right there in the center. This bin I only cover with a t-shirt and a piece of butcher's twine. So I gotta make sure that I keep this nice and moist until it starts producing castings. Ay, ay, ay. Now with this monstrosity, this is just a bag. I ended up, because I did not want to add a whole bunch of fresh bedding, I'm just putting this right in the bucket. And I was hoping that this sucked up some of the moisture. But as I was kind of saying, with this bin, this is as close to my no rules bin as I have. I go ahead, I pretty much add whatever I want to this. So this stays in the basement near my, just checking my fingers, make sure I don't see any baby worms. This stays in the basement right next to my half a rain barrel bin that has the European night crawlers. So if I have fresh leaves, I throw it in there. Well, chopped up dry leaves, I throw it in there. If I have shredded cardboard, I throw it in there. As you've seen, I sometimes just throw whole bags, brown paper bags in there. So there's no set thing that I have for this bin. Typically my natural bedding bin, I try to only put natural things, wood chips, leaves, the substrate, the mushroom substrate. This here, I've added mushroom substrate. I've added just about everything to it. And then also with the feedings, I kind of go a little more crazy with what I feed them to. A lot of times this bin goes a little longer between feedings than my normal bins. But you can see the worms are liking it, so. So what I'm doing is, instead of trying to pick out every last worm, I'm going to try to bait them. So I'm going to try to entice those guys over. This is going to be a multi-day project. Nice big frozen block of lettuce, a few ends from when I was making pickles, from the cucumbers. So this is going to start breaking down, releasing some moisture. I think I will cover this with a bag. I may even just cover it with this so I don't have to search for anything, and allow those worms to start migrating over. I'll give them a few days, then I will put this light back on over top, and then I will start just picking off the top layer. I'll just, move, collect some castings. There's a worm in there right now, but hopefully by that point they go down and towards the feeding, and then get a nice harvest from this 5-gallon worm bucket. I want to cover this up with some leaves. We'll add a little moisture there. I do really like being able to reuse things. Look at that. It's almost like it was designed for it. So, I'll bring you guys back in maybe a week or so. Like I said, I'm definitely giving it a few days to start hopefully enticing the worms over. Give it a few days to let them kind of get settled in to those castings, and then I can start, like I said, collecting the castings off the top, getting those worms back over here, and then when all's said and done, it'll go back into the 5-gallon worm bucket. Before you go ahead and see the rest of it, make sure you guys are subscribed so you can follow along. Check out the other bins that I have. I have a natural bedding bin, I have a Vermi Hut Plus, I have the rain barrel bin, I have a shoebox bin, and then this bin, the 5-gallon bucket bin. This has been going for about a week, trying to dry out some. I have a little 6.5 quart tote here. So all I'm going to do is scrape off this top layer and start loading up this tote. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a worm right there. Okay, so let's see if the baiting worked. And we have some worms over here. Oh yeah. So very cool. I'm going to add these back to the bin. They're going right back in here. Wow, look at, they're all right there at the... So, with all those worms, I'm okay putting some of these castings back into the fresh bedding. Wow, look. See those little baby worms? I'm going to go through this real quick. What I plan on doing is sifting through this real quick with this little rake. Going ahead, like right there, that's all castings that doesn't have anything in it. So I'm just going to scoop them up. I'm going to keep doing that. And then when I find any worms, like right here, I'm just going to kind of scoot them over to this side where I have some of these dry leaves. And then this is all going to go back into my 5-gallon bucket. So I'm going to stop you for a little bit. Quick go through this, try to move out any castings, leave the worms, and I'll bring you right back. This was unbelievable how many worms were in here. Still. I mean, look at that. That is crazy. Unreal. And this bin was started with just 30 composting worms from my compost pile. About a year ago, I counted them, and in maybe about 9 months' time, it went from 30 worms all the way up to 700. And I guarantee now there's probably close to 1,500 to 2,000 worms in here. It is unbelievable. So I'm very happy. Here's my peach pit. So that's coming back in here. Last couple worms. So I'm very, very happy with how these guys are looking. Right now, maybe this bin, this bucket is about a quarter filled. So over the next few months with the feedings, I'll continue to add leaves and cardboard and bring that up probably to about that halfway point again. And yeah, just keep letting these guys devour this food. So I will get some food out, give them a feeding, and then basically put this away. This goes down next to my half a rain barrel bin that has my European night crawlers in it. So this is going to be kind of a brutal feeding. Has a lot of the orange peels, lemon and lemons, but I have faith these guys can handle it. Does have a little cucumber end on there. So what I will do is, you see I just basically dropped everything on top. I will kind of fluff it to get some castings and some bedding over top. Now, I don't know if you've seen, whew, that's pretty darn dry. So I will be adding a good amount of water. This here is probably one of my wetter bins that I keep, and maybe that's why the worms are doing so well. And rinsing them off gives me a good excuse to get the glove cleaned up. Hit them with a little ground eggshell with the bin reset. Because I got it, I'll leave this guy in there for now. Hopefully that'll keep some of the moisture in. And this bin was pretty cool. I got the 5-gallon bucket. Sometimes I can get them free from like a deli, or for like $1, maybe $2. So this is a pretty cheap option for making a worm bin. This was an old t-shirt, and then some, I was going to say garden twine, but it's not. It's butcher's twine for like pulling and doing like a rotisserie chicken. You can kind of pull the wings back. So I have it so it's pretty tight. And yep, this is going to go back down in the basement. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you let me know down in the comments. If you want to see this more often, definitely let me know. If you guys have any questions about this bin or any of my other bins, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for coming along and checking out the video. Everybody have a great day.